them are in AI, and we have one of our biggest AI contributors here. He's internationally well known, Dr. Yampolskiy, and we have a lot of faculty working in AI. Uh, I'm more of a hands-on AIist. I work with deploying and applying things for practical things, but I'm not a thinker like he is. So we wanted to have him to start our series to just challenge our thoughts and to have us think about what's this AI hype? Are we going to survive it or it will feed on us? Uh, I really don't know. And that's why today we will start in a minute because I said we'll start at 12 exactly, uh, you know, with Dr. Yampolskiy telling us about uh, big. So he will talk about it from what are the challenges of AI and what are, and he, I don't follow all the famous interviewers in the world, but he has made it to all the famous people. I keep being asked about him wherever I go. You're in the same university with Dr. Yampolskiy. I say yes. And then I sometimes say, I hired him. So at least I can get some credit for that. And so I think it is now exactly 12. So we let him start. Can you give us a little bit of opening here about where we are in the progression of AI? Are we at the hump? Are we going fast? Or will slow down the progression after that?
Thank you for inviting me. I've been on many fireside chats. You're my favorite host so far. You actually delivered fire. Most of them fake fireside, so this is important. How many of you actually seen any of the podcasts you mentioned? Okay, so no one has any clue who I am or what we're talking about. So we need to do intro 101 first. Uh, you are young people mostly, so for you, AI doing really well is kind of a given. It's been doing well your whole academic careers. For us of us who a little more senior, first 50 years AI didn't do anything. It's one of those memes, come on, poke, do something. The last 10 years, it's been, I think, growing exponentially. And if it continues growing that way, it's very likely to hit human level capabilities and maybe beyond that. And it would be nice if we knew how to make sure it's not abused and the system itself is safe for human deployment, interaction, especially if it goes beyond human capabilities in many domains like synthetic biology, nanotech, would be some unintended consequences. So unfortunately, the state of the art in AI safety is just filters. We tell the system, don't say that word, don't talk about this topic, but that's about it. We don't know how to actually modify the model to be safe. But despite that, billions of dollars, smartest people, all racing, all competing to get there first, to create AGI, superintelligence now, as soon as they can. And that's the state of the art. We have hyper exponential progress in capability, linear or constant progress in safety.
Sounds good. That there is progress. Um, can I'll challenge you here because we disagree on some issues. Can can we contain AI by our intelligence? Because we're the ones who build the AI. If we are benign humans, let's make that assumption. Can we build the AI where it is intrinsically benign? That's a first question.
We are not building them. The first 50 years we did engineering. We actually had human knowledge experts create expert systems. Everything was predictable and explicit. You had decision trees. You could trace the system, understand what it does. We no longer engineer those systems, we grow them. We had compute, we had data, and then we experiment. It's a science. You have an artifact, and you're trying to learn what it's capable of. Somebody just sent me a cute example. So they released whatever latest GPT-4 at the time, and one of the guys was like, "Does it speak my language? This rare language from the Senegal?" I don't know. Let's find out. They have no idea what it's capable of, and that's the problem. So you can't really guarantee it's only benign and safe if you don't even know what it's capable of.
Yeah, actually, interesting you mentioned this languages issue because there are people talking about that the rare languages, some of the AI is making it up, is really cheating, is faking it and making up words. And some people were complaining about that. I just heard an interview about it from people in a very rare experts in rare languages. And the challenge is it can mess up even the languages because it's making them up and people may believe it.
I only tested on common popular languages I know, so it did really well. The hardest test I gave it was Russian modern obscure humor, and it was awesome. It understood the jokes and understood memes. It was able to keep up with
So
that.
there
But
is Russian humor.
it's all Russian. But it does hallucinate. It does make up just like humans do. If you have a oral exam for a human student, most of the time they're trying to fake it, right? Well, we know. So that's exactly what we train them to do. We train them to either be right or wrong. There is never I don't know, and that's an important part of Q&A. If you ask me something, I'll be honest. I'll tell you I don't know. I never read that book. I cannot comment. But we train those systems to always have an answer. So if it's asked a question about some book I've never heard about, it will make up a book and a citation and a story.
So is that if a failure in our engineering of these systems that we train them to always have to answer rather than
It is, and it's a failure of designing a proper reward signal. And
yes.
that's a very hard challenge. We talk about heuristics and utility functions, and
The
it's
reward.
very hard because you can always game anything specific. The moment you show me what the reward function is, I'll find a way to max it out.
So you think the reward function may be the issue? That if we really force companies to really rethink how they reward the AI.
So I think the problem is fundamental is that there is no function you cannot game. As long as you say something concrete, where I know that this is worth 10 times that, I can have arbitrage between different values and max it out in unsafe ways.
You know, we tell people don't keep digging if you're failing. Maybe we teach AI that there may be a failure that they learn that to not to keep pushing if they fail. And how do we give it that maybe potential feedback to calibrate it in the right direction? Is that an option?
So far, no one has solved the problem. No one claims to be able to control advanced AI. No one has a patent prototype, even a rigorous blog post explaining how to do it. You guys come up with it, you might get some funding for your organization.
Well, okay. I'll switch a little bit to how about the utilitarian AI, the ones that most of us need and use as businesses, as students, as professionals, not the very general one. Do you have any, at least, evaluation from your perspective at its state of the art and where is it going? And I'm talking more like we have people from companies, we have people from nonprofits, from so do you think there is a hope for this to be at least a time saver, an efficiency saver, or enlightenment? It may give us ideas that we didn't think of.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. It's probably better than most of our students and some professors. So I
Well,
don't think it's a
so,
surprising result. I stopped recruiting new students. At this point, I'm basically will graduate whoever's in the pipeline, and we're good.
so you think the investment in these, I call them vertical AIs, is worth it more right now for humanity?
So if you're creating narrow tools, it is
Yeah.
incredible. It will help us solve so many important problems in medical field, energy, you name it. Problem is everyone tries to make a general superintelligence.
Yeah.
You see specifically Meta says it's a superintelligence team. We're only hiring people to
Yeah.
accelerate. So that's not controllable. That's not sustainable. But narrow tools, I love it.
Did you get an offer from Meta? They are offering 100 million now.
I'm still here, right?
Yeah.
It's like people ask me, other people, on how to hack the simulation. I'm still here. Like, what do you
No,
expect?
I hear that now they are not hiring the inexpensive graduates. They are making offers for millions to select people, and so far they have failed to even move them forward. They just, you get multi-million as an offer, and then why do you need to work?
It's hard to be, it's hard to
So
be
there is no
motivated.
incentive. They are gaming the system. It's like the AI. you,
Humans are not safe, and that's a great
yeah.
point to prove what I'm
Actually,
saying.
you kind of
At certain level of intelligence, general intelligence, you start becoming uncontrollable. Uh, when we hire someone, we do background checks, lie detectors, all sorts of things. Employees still steal. You cannot guarantee safety.
okay. What about your thinking in terms of, because you say AI will eventually take over, eventually will kill us all, or something like that. But yeah, he does, by the way.
It will.
But the disconnection between the AI and the physical control of systems, why is there a fear if it is not connected to the physical systems to control them?
That's a great question. So the question is usually, it has no hands. How would it kill everyone? Already it's connected to the internet, which means it can hire humans to do whatever it needs. Even with Bitcoin, get humans working. We're building humanoid robots also as fast as we can, so it will have bodies. But the danger comes not from bodies, but from intelligence. If you can design new virus, if you can hack systems, if you can do all that, you don't even need a body. You can be on the internet doing really well.
But you're not going to be in the manufacturing floor to prevent the new virus. That's where I am.
Sure you are. You can hack into labs. You can pay someone to deliver.
But we're doing cybersecurity. Come on.
And right now, cybersecurity exploits can be automated, and you can find zero-day exploits using AI. So that's not a safety assurance. But worse yet, the easiest way to hack any system is through social engineering. And those systems are super persuasive. They develop hyperstimuli. I don't know if you look at the latest visuals they create and ability to convince. I think average person can withstand that level of persuasion.
Have any of you faced an AI attack?
Well, but the attacks that we're used to are misspelled, right? Incorrect language, but the AI can fix that.
But they do it on purpose, I think. What's your, because
Oh,
that,
the Nigerian prince? Yeah. The
yeah,
goal there is to find the dumbest people.
yes,
But
If it's like well written, you'll get smart people who'll eventually like not pay you.
but the
If
AI,
they go like Nigerian prince, that sounds incredible opportunity. That's the target audience.
the AI can write it better than the Nigerian princes now.
Right, and they do, and they automate it, and I get those awesome emails. But what I'm saying is, when we see it, and it's like, oh, he misspelled the word, and it's a com. They do it by design. That's not a bug. That's a feature.
that brings us back to the most famous thing, the Turing test. The last time I heard about it being performed, someone said, is the Turing test of stupidity because people faked it and made the AI make mistakes. So they think is a human. You have, like, in
But
philosophical about,
we published a paper called Artificial Stupidity. What are the upper limits a system needs to maintain to be at a human level? You can remember maybe 7 units of memory. If a system can remember millions, it will fail the test.
yeah.
So we try to kind of formalize all the human properties, speed of response, amount of memory, what it's capable of mathematically. It seems to be good to have chatbots and maybe dating partners who are at the human level. So we need to know what those limits are.
Uh, are you investing in any AI companies?
Through my beautiful 401k. Thank you, University of Louisville, taxpayers, and everyone else.
No, I mean, because
It's all about NVIDIA.
yeah, obviously,
They should
NVIDIA,
sell the shovels to the gold diggers. So
yes,
that's,
obviously, NVIDIA is a popular thing, but it's being challenged nowadays, I guess. And We have one guy I saw him there. He's working on quantum, and I'm told that quantum may beat some of these things in a few years.
We've been told that for a few decades now.
Yes, I was
Where is
in
that guy?
Alejandro. There is. I was in the quantum week, IEEE, and the head of IBM laid a very detailed expectation about quantum, and they are really investing in quantum. And the hybrid of quantum and GPUs and high performance computing may be a reality, not fully quantum. So that can accelerate some of your predictions, I think.
So the prediction is we're maybe 2 years away from AGI. I don't know how much room there is to accelerate. Tomorrow, where are we going with this?
So you think in 2 years?
Not my prediction. If you look at prediction markets, if you look at statements from leaders of those labs, that's the best tool we have for predicting future prediction markets.
So, okay. There are many definitions of AGI. When you say in 2 years we'll reach it, what would be your definition that we would collectively here understand, and maybe then later I'll ask you about warnings. But
So I think it has to do with learning. If it's capable of learning new domains at the level of an average person, so you can use them as a drop-in employee. You want to bring a new intern to Hive. You take that system, you show it your code, you show it this and that, and 2 weeks later it's delivering for you. That would be an AGI for me.
maybe it's not for me, but I mean, we may have different preferences. So theoretically, from philosophical AI, that would be AGI definition.
So it can learn anything a human can learn.
What
It's
about
not better than all humans in all domains. That's superintelligence, including science and engineering. AGI, basically, I need someone to do this job. It can learn to do this job.
but can it do it? You say learn, and I distinguish between learn and doing. You know, because
So same
doing
applies to humans,
doing
right?
has access, doing has access to tools, has access, and we know that most of our life, all the tools, reality, are disconnected. They may exist, like even look at the university system.
But that's
We
what
have
I'm
so
about to
many
say.
tools, they are disconnected. So how will the AI even
It's the
do?
same with humans, right? So
Yeah.
anytime we have a new system deployed for HR or
Yeah.
for payments, no human knows how to use it. It's a mystery box, and they just send random emails to each other.
So the
Same
AI
thing.
will,
AI can do that. I'm like 5 emails into hiring a grader, so yeah.
you're ahead of me. Yeah, thank you.
Right.
No, so okay, let's go to the super intelligence. That's something I know you're very fascinated
That's the
with.
concerning one. That's
Yes,
the big one.
and what's your vision about it? I know you talked about it a lot. I don't know that everyone heard about your opinion, but I think we, in 2 years, we'll have AGI. We are not needed, and AI will be able to learn what we know. Okay, we'll talk about this later, but let's go to the super intelligence, which I assume is beyond our capabilities as humans.
Right. So it's defined as better than all people in all domains. How long that will be before we get there, nobody knows for sure, but it's likely that once you have AGI, you can automate science and engineering so that progress becomes much faster. You don't have to sleep, you don't have to eat, you're just working on next models of AI. If it's doing its own science and engineering, the loop continues, you have continuous improvement of capabilities. At that point, it's not obvious what humans can contribute.
Can it then give us money?
Yes.
Since it takes away our jobs?
So people talk about unconditional basic income, redistribution of abundance, taxing robots, all that can be. The part missing is how do we control it? If you're controlling it, if it's benefiting you, yeah, there is no challenge in producing more wealth. It can basically serve as free labor, physical and cognitive, billions of dollars of wealth. But how do you something smarter than you indefinitely?
And that's the fear is how
That's
to.
the unsolved problem. No one claims to solve it. They all have safety teams. They spend billions hiring top experts, but I haven't seen progress in that.
So the only immunity I have is to disconnect myself from the internet.
It doesn't help at all.
Why?
If it impacts the whole planet, even Amish will be fine. It doesn't matter.
How?
So let's
Because
say
even the reward system will be minimal to go to them for the AI because it's a smaller group,
the concern is again, let's say it develops a dangerous virus. Something as deadly as Ebola spreads like a flu, delayed like AIDS. The whole planet is out. It doesn't matter where you are.
Why would there be a high reward for this? That's always one
Now
of
you're
these
asking me
challenges.
to explain why superintelligence does something. The definition, I cannot. If I could, I would be, despite what you think, I'm not superintelligent. So I cannot make that prediction. That's a proven result we published on.
But your team of thinkers that agree on this think that there may be a rewarding system for creating evil.
They're not evil. They're game theoretically optimal. Examples I can give you. We don't want humans to create a competing superintelligence. We don't want humans trying to turn it off. Maybe for whatever reason you need to cool down the planet to have your servers run faster. So the temperatures drop below human sustainable levels. There could be reasons I cannot guess. I'm telling you what I would do if I had. But I cannot anticipate what would actual reasons be.
Sounds very scary.
We're not guaranteeing that those choices will not be made. And that's the scary part. We are not in control. We don't have undo button. If you don't like something it does, how do you go, no, 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 let's not do that, go back? We don't know how to do that.
Okay, that's the scary part. Let's go back to the that's scary. The AGI, the one that is in 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, you say in 2 years, if you took what we have today and showed it to a guy even 15 years ago, a computer scientist, they would be convinced what we have is AGI. Think about all the things it can do in all the domains.
I'm not.
Huh?
I'm not. And I've been in AI for longer than you have been. I mean,
Alive.
yeah, that's exactly. I don't want to make you look so young because with your beard, I mean, it's no. But sincerely, I I have projected progress, and I understand why it's happening because all the advances in hardware and in data collection and algorithms and all this, it makes sense. What doesn't make sense to me sometimes is actually the failures, which you seem to focus on the successes. To me, I'm focused on the failures of AI to solve some foundational problems that all of us have in our businesses, in our work. But I think it's the investment for the business reward for the business investment since the AI is not making the decisions.
So I look at worst case scenarios. Computability, complexity, a lot of times you care about the worst case. If it ends up being better, you're doing well. If it's utopia, we don't have to prepare for it. It's fine. We don't know how to spend infinite money. But we need to make sure the worst case scenario is not the one we're dealing with.
Like if AI fails to get you hire your assistant, then we are already not reaching what I think is the benefit of AI. Even if it is advancing, I don't think even in 2 years it will be able to solve these institutional, legal processes
So
things.
there's a big difference between deployment of technology and capability.
Okay.
In the 70s, we had video phones. AT&T, I think, was
Yeah,
selling
no,
them. 5 people in New York had them. No one had them until iPhone came out. So it took decades from we have capability to it's actually deployed. Self-driving cars exist today. We drive around, but how many of you are in those cars, right? So there is a huge gap between AI can do this for you and being deployed in businesses. What we have today, we probably automate 50% of all jobs because we has jobs to begin with. But we're not doing that yet. The deployment, economic value not captured is still huge. We don't even need to make progress. If we just deployed what we have today, it would be trillions of dollars of economic wealth propagated.
Is- Okay. So that kind of gives you a little balances between capability and deployability. So I think we may still have our jobs.
Oh, you are tenured. You'll have your job.
No, no, I think they can fire us for cause. Maybe the cause is because I can be replaced. The
You are
cause.
truly
Yeah,
replaceable.
but no, but sincerely, but that says his deployability may still be lacking, and that keeps people in the jobs. You know,
And there
what
are
capability
regulations
is
we
that?
invent. So doctors, lawyers are protected by licensing. There are certain rules. You can have just as well a rule that only a human can do a certain job, be a judge, be a president, and protect positions. Again, I'm completely ignoring the whole we don't control it, it decides, but if we are, those are the things we would want to pass.
So these are societal, legal, and maybe administrative decisions.
Right, so there is a huge branch in addition to AI safety, there is AI governance.
Okay.
And lots of people are recruiting for that. And if you are not very technical, not a computer scientist, that's a great area with lots of growth. You go advise senators.
And that's why in our series we get lawyers also. Yeah, so
Say hi to Michael.
no, there is a lady from the law school also has deployed some AI in legal systems. If you want, yeah. So we understand that need, and it really is appreciated. And I don't know what I don't want to ask you a tough question. I leave it to the floor for a minute or two. We always have philosophical disagreement about AI, but we we know that it is needed because if we don't challenge each other, how can we even refine our thoughts?
And I open the challenge in general. If you can prove all this wrong, this is bullshit, and we have a beautiful future ahead of us, I would be very happy.
I just presume I own the switch where I can turn the computer off. Yeah, but that's but
I have never heard that proposal.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Can you introduce yourself at least so others
Yeah,
know
sure.
where your thinking comes from?
oh God, now I don't know after listening to you all talk for a few minutes, but yeah, my name's Steven Swan. I used to work at the university for 6 years recruiting students, and now I work for a fintech company based out of London, England. And so I find myself more in the fearful side of things at this point. But earlier you mentioned we're so advanced now that you no longer have to fill your student pipelines. Can you explain a little bit more about why that is? Because you also expressed a deep concern for the eroding, like, humanization of our economy, of our lives. So how do you see those two views kind of juxtaposed there?
So it depends on what stage they enter into the lab. If I recruit a new PhD student, I'll spend the first 2 years taking courses, and maybe third year they start being a little bit useful. Right before they graduate, they might actually do good work, publish a few papers. So we're looking at someone in 4 years from now. So I'm not making a decision, can a student today be helpful? Of course you can, obviously, that's not a statement. But in 4 years, are they likely to be better at programming than AI? Are they better at writing papers in English than AI? And I don't think that's the case. I had recruited a really good PhD student last year. He just told me he's not going to pursue PhD. He's going to get a terminal master's because he doesn't think there is enough room for him to what he needs to do. I don't think he's irrational. So that's the logic.
So you also see AI as a it's almost like the nuclear bomb, essentially. It has tremendous power for deterrence, for whatever, but also tremendous destructibility. So how do you see AI? The is it eroding the need for human labor faster than we are
Well,
anticipating?
in computer science, what are the numbers? We're down 28% for internships, for co-ops. We can't place students. We see the same in the industry. We fire by thousands, but very few get
Yeah.
a return. The top, absolutely top people do get 100 million offers,
Yeah.
but most junior people are struggling.
And yeah, this HR issue. I have a minor in economics, graduate minor in economics. I've been looking at it for a while. I even took courses, human resource economics. So I'm an engineer, but I dabble in too many things. But I have an opinion about it. But he said something here that I think from in answering you that is very important is the reward system. As a faculty, he is more rewarded on his productivity, not the mentoring of the students and the production of the students. While we are a university, so you see, the AI system and the I system,
And
without
incentives determine
the incentive
everything.
determines why he'd rather be more productive using AI tools than using students.
But the problem is you can't modify it to where you just say if you recruit more students, we'll reward you more because the opposite happens. I'll recruit every one of you to be in my lab. I just maximize whatever triggers the reward function. And people go, well, we'll add an additional if statement. And then to fix that, well, and it's an infinite regress of problems. You cannot fix it with that. And that's a fundamental example.
I used to teach optimization courses way back, and I used to tell the students, we're the technicians. We can build the optimization, but those who decide what to optimize are the more influential. And that's the trick here. What do you want to optimize? What function will you optimize? And that really, I think you are reinforcing this vision that I had, even without AI, for simple
Any
optimization.
rational agent falls into that game theoretic.
Give us a few words of wisdom. And my question to him, what do you advise us in terms of um, using the current state of AI to our advantage? And what would we invest in our learning to be able to cope with the changes?
Definitely use it in your work. If it helps you program, if it helps you understand concepts, write papers, it's a great tool. I love AI, I love technology. Just have the big picture in mind. If you're deciding on a long-term project, make sure by the time you finish 4 or 5 years, somebody wants that project and somebody wants your skills in that. And it's hard to assess. For a while, we told people, learn to code. Kind of lied to them, it's not needed as much. Then we said, become a prompt engineer. Now AI writes better prompts. Now we're telling them, well, if you develop agents, AI agents, you'll be good forever. Yeah, next 80 years, you get, nah. Good luck.
So are you going to still continue to teach AI?
I have to. It's very important.
Should we continue to use what we know of AI?
And the more you know, the more you can enjoy life, I think. So knowledge is beautiful, but don't assume that you'll be competitive in the new economy. I think it's a big difference.
I plan to be competitive for the next 10 years. Do you think it's feasible?
If you are alive, yes. I think there are concerns about our overall safety on shorter time scales. To get to uncontrolled superintelligence with bioweapons, nanoweapons, it could be lights out for humanity.
Thank you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
And now I go teach basics of search algorithms.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Well, thank you all. We can have our own chat and we can have more food and more chat. Uh, we here love to be, by the way, we are part of a family. Anyone here in the family of Hive, can you raise your hand so people get to know you? And there are people in the back there too. So we are like a family. We love each other. We co-work together. We go to lunches together. We exchange our knowledge. So it's not like I know that I will not help you. So we have cross-functional and cross-learning, and it's fun. I I can get out of the room and they can tell you if they think it's fun or not. But I think anyone wants to comment? We have, by the way, visitors from Egypt, and we have lost another one who was not here today somehow. And we have two visitors from Spain, undergraduates from Egypt. They stayed with us, what, 4 months? You end up,
Yeah.
they leave end of September. And from Spain, the two just arrived and they stay with us for 6 months. And then we have our own students, graduate, undergraduate, PhD, research engineer, PhD, between master and PhD, you know. So, and then we have Brian is a postdoctor, Sahar is a doctoral candidate. So we have all the levels, and we have high school students during the summer and volunteers. Actually, we get a high school volunteer. She comes once or twice a week. So we have all the levels, and we learn from each other. And if AI is going to do this, maybe it will be better.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because I think the human nature of learning from others is valuable for us because that creates the, I don't want to use a word that's illegal, diversity and diverse, but in terms of knowledge and experiences, each one comes with a separate experiences. And bringing all these experiences to our learning is very valuable, you know, and and the AI, and I disagree about some things, but I agree obviously that it has its own danger. It's not built to discriminate. It's all about grabbing the information from wherever it does. That's why the what I call the compartmentalized, the vertical ones that are targeted are useful because we build them with a case that we know what. But the other ones, and I'll tell you about safety in AI. If ChatGPT, China decide to tell a billion persons to have wrong information, the same wrong information, ChatGPT will think that's the right thing because it's a statistical prediction. If it tells you that 1 + 1 is 5, ChatGPT next day will tell you it's 5. It's just collecting information from wherever it sees it posted and ingests it and makes projection based on the most likely. It's statistical. It is.
I was curious. I work at Bernheim Forest with Shauna. Has anybody been to Bernheim Forest?
Long ago.
Yeah, if since you're new to America, I invite you out to come see Bernheim. We have hiking trails and art, and it's a beautiful place just right outside Louisville. And I'm really interested to hear how the Hive is talking about the environmental impacts of AI, the data centers.
Actually, I am part of a team of UVL that we just submitted a proposal for a center to study data centers.
Good,
Yeah,
because the Hive is bees.
yeah.
You
But,
know,
no, but this is a bigger team than us.
Mhm.
Has people from the Enviro Institute, from
Yes.
the from the Cone Center for Energy, has a lot of industry partners
Yeah.
that we proposed to NSF to build a center that studies data centers from different aspects:
Mhm.
environmental, policy, political. How do you make it like acceptable?
Yeah.
And from data storage efficiency, which can save energy. So we wrote a proposal that's very comprehensive. Wish us luck if it gets funded.
Yeah. I am the corporate partners manager at Bernheim, so I do value the partnerships, whether it be corporate or
Yeah.
artificial intelligence with environment. We have to sit at the table together. And
If you have a challenge that you think we can address,
Mhm.
we may talk about a practical way to address it. The mayor is hiring an AI director, for the city. Actually, they are in the final stages. And we are looking at creating an AI center or institute at U of L, which co-works with us. We'll focus more on the cyber and AI together, but there will be a separate AI. So I've been asked about opinions about it. And we have the Digital Transformation Center that is the community arm of us that trains and does training. So we have these three things. They are now being put under one group, which is now called the Kentucky Center for Digital Innovation.
Okay.
At U of L. And I'm on the search committee to hire a boss for myself and the others. So we want someone to coordinate across and be focused mostly on this. And we will be working together as a team. So we're trying to bring these ideas together in a more clear identity.
And I know Bernheim, in terms of being able to offer some way outside of the box thinking, when you think about AI and you think about it from the lowest level of toddler up to adult, Bernheim has a very big perspective to provide on childhood development that probably would be very interesting to put in the mix of what AI looks like.
On a personal level, I personally have avoided working with below high school. It's not a dislike. I'm not confident of my ability to, you know. I worked with high school teachers, training them on cybersecurity. So I have grants that trained high school teachers cyber. With the other things, part of digital transformation, we have a workforce development certificate with badges, by the way, that has AI bundle. And the AI bundle is like $500, and the whole certificate will be very cheap. So we created these with funding from the NSA, and we keep maintaining it and improving it. It's available online, and when you go to these thing, you earn badges. Badges, not degrees, and you can use them on your CV and other. And we have a bundle on IT foundations. We have a bundle on network. We have a bundle on AI, and we have a whole thing, which is 23 modules on cybersecurity work. So you can bundle it, or you can do the whole thing. And these, we only require a high school degree. We don't require anything above that. You know? And we trained many, many people. We created it with about 14 other universities. So someone is wondering there, Brian, please.
So,
Yeah, when the door doesn't lock, we get people wandering in. We're in a weird neighborhood here. But you understand, so we prepared it with 14 other universities. So this was not created only by U of L faculty and staff, but it has been created with a lot of, and we may be getting an extension to still improve on it. Actually, we will get a sub award for 2 years from NSA to follow up on improving. So we keep it up to date. And we have things like cognitive computing. We have things like quantum in it. So we didn't want to say that cyber now. We wanted that cyber now and forward. And that's why we got that award. It was very competitive. We got about $12 million over the last 5-6 years to build it. So it took a lot of effort, but we didn't take all the money at U of L. We used a lot of other universities to make sure it's done at the best level. So, we have friends here from businesses. We have Pepe from GE and the appliances. Chris works for a autonomous trucks company. So
I was curious to hear what other, because you said health and business applications. Who are some of your business?
health, we're working on
Partners.
many health apps. By the way, look at our website, hivehub.org. We highlight some things. We're working on things like, believe it or not, the nail fold can tell a lot about your health. We're working on dementia. This guy is working on what? Parkinson. And we are collaborating with other universities, like they are here from Spain, but we're collaborating with their faculty on that work.
Amazing.
Huh? So we collaborate across the world. We don't believe that we can stay insulated and isolated. That's why we have a lot of I have a faculty come from Chile twice, and he was here last year, work on water quality with AI. So
Amazing.
we believe that it's not, you don't lock yourself and say, I'll only work in Leuven. The thing about the AI that I say the mayor is hiring, I had the chance to have a very brief talk with him, and I says, please remember to push for the open data initiatives that the city have, because without the data, you will not get an open involvement of us and others to build things with the knowledge about the city. I don't know if Bernheim has data that you collect that you're willing to share, because this data can help others help you. I don't know, data,
We can start opening that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm very new at Bernheim,
but you understand,
yes, I
the
understand.
new version of AI is data centered AI, I call it. The earlier ones were knowledge centered AI.
Okay.
They were based on the knowledge, and the earlier of knowledge were the experts. Then the knowledge became wider from books and texts and things. Then now it's open, any data we have. Then there is the LLMs, they are beyond data, they just grab anything from the trash or from anywhere they can find, you know? So it's data centered, but it's where did you get the data? In the past it was from the humans, then from books and things, then now from actual data that's now digitized because it wasn't in the past. Then the LLMs and these, they grab it from wherever they can find, you know? So if you have data, you can understand. We spend a lot of time understanding the data, because if you don't understand it as human and you throw it at the AI, what do you expect the AI will do? Whatever it finds. But if you understand it and guide it a little bit, you can steer it in the right direction. And that's why we disagree that it's our fault, not the AI's fault. We are not steering the AI in the direction of humanity. We are leaving it loose. But the issue is about governance, as he said, which I agree. If you don't govern the companies who are deploying it, they do anything and leave it in the wild. If you don't have zoos, someone will have a lion and leave it in the street, which happened in some places. They, so it's all about how do we govern it and how do we steer it in the right direction. And without data and knowledge of the domain, it's just whatever luck it gets. Anyone wants to comment? I'm only paid to talk. Professors, all they do is talk. Yeah, I mean,
I think it was very interesting. I'm enjoying the space and listening to others' perspectives. That's always good. I think in terms of AI, I think many of us we have these moments that are like a sleepless nights. That we just start thinking about what AI is doing, right, and how it's disrupting. Um, but also they are the very beautiful and sunny days, which we can use AI for something and it works, right, and opens possibilities. So I tend to be more an optimist than a pessimist. Um, but in the workplace, I'm very worried that we are building the wrong applications, letting biases or not having the right data or not solving the right problem, right? So I think that we need to be smart in how we build the future, right? And I spent a lot of time thinking like how the workplace is going to change. I'm getting excited about how new generations are using AI today, and that is going to permeate the companies. But again, we need to build the structures because we still have management structures from the industrial era, right? Like the last century, command and control, and lots of rules, and the world is changing. So it's a good opportunity to refresh, renew, but I think at least for us, it's important to connect externally because definitely we don't have the best ideas internally, right? And once that the change accelerates, as he was, sharing with us, we're ready to build something that is good, right? And is positive.
Can you replace all the workers in the GE factory by AI?
No, no, like you were talking about the factory.
No.
We have some robots there, but
Yeah.
they're very specific.
Yeah. And by the way, robots, GE appliances, I came here in 82, and in the first few years, there was a robotics conference, and someone from GE appliances made a presentation about a robotic attempt that failed. Obviously, the knowledge and the intelligence has increased, so robotics is more feasible, but it cannot replace everything.
Right.
And there is one rule that I learned is, how do you teach the robot? If you're teaching it by a human and the human is not perfect, it will only increase the imperfection,
Right.
So teaching it with a full optimized way of how it behaves is not that simple.
Yeah.
So even creating smart robots is not that trivial.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because we're also thinking in the office space, right? Like you cannot replace everyone. At the same time, the work changes, right? So
Yeah.
So now we're thinking the managers are also going to manage AI agents.
Yeah.
But what does that mean, right? Like, and then how do you build an AI agent that has an acceptable level, like human, and don't pass, incomplete, imperfect process that we use today because we don't know a better way. So it's a good moment to reimagine like how we work. So I'm excited.
Yeah. That's great. Any of the students are worried about their future jobs from AI?
Well, well, I just have one input about jobs. So if anyone is worried about like their main concern, I just want to have a job no matter what happens. The Jeffrey Hinton, which is the godfather of AI, says the least risky and probably will never be replaced job is a plumber. So you can learn plumbing, then you always have a job. So just no, I'm serious. Like,
Actually,
that's what he
No,
said.
it's, yes, it makes sense.
Interesting you say plumber. Way back, I had a plumber, and he was a fun guy. We talked about his life story. He started as an audio technician, and his girlfriend's father owned the business. When he broke up with the girlfriend, he lost his job. Then he decided to go into roofing. Then he fell one time, didn't lose his life. So he decided plumbing is easier.
Safer.
Safer.
So
In this period.
it's a pathway. You don't have to start as a plumber.
Yeah.
But and he seemed very nice, very smart guy. And the way he saved for his future was by collecting used cars and used motorcycles and fixing them, and guns, that he will eventually, this is his retirement investment. So there is many ways to build wealth and paths to make a plumber. Anyway, yeah, I mean, handwork will always be. There are robot surgeries, but still surgeons are needed.
Well, and I think creativity will never be replaced.
Oh, come on. Claude wrote my poem for me. I interacted with my poem
Yeah,
and kept going back and forth until we agreed on one.
that's great though. But you had input,
Yes,
your own creative input.
prompting.
Not creative prompting.
No, I started with my own poem and said, "Can you improve it for me?" And I didn't like the improvement, so I revised it and said, "Okay, that's my second version. Do you have any?" It took me about 3, 4 things until we agreed on a poem.
I do think it's interesting when you think about the agents that are becoming more prevalent, at least in the nonprofit world, of being able to try to help us with some of the repetitive things that we do, like grant writing. And the agents that are available to us in the nonprofit world are going to be different than those in the for-profit world, because we don't have the resources to be able to pay for those higher level agents. So that's interesting.
Going to use the example. I just applied for or submitted a project for GE Appliances Blue Wave, and I used AI to help generate the budget, just fine tune it, and then that frees me up to build authentic connections with Omar, who's a volunteer naturalist and employee at GE, and then help to understand like what motivates GE to give. And it's really interesting. I mean, even using that tool for a grant that's due Friday, so it frees up time for me to be here in person. I mean, that's really important. It's a compliment.
That's why it's important to use what's there, not to hide from it.
Yeah.
What's Homer's last name?
Oh, you get him in trouble now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Omar Haidar?
Shatara.
Oh, because I know Omar Haidar who works at GE.
Yeah,
That's one I know, but I don't know Shatara, no. Huh?
Is that his?
Too many. Too many Omars.
Oh, okay.
Omar and
I was like, did I just say something?
We have several here.
We have several Omars affiliated with us.
I see. Well, they're good from what I can understand. Really good.
We have an Omar student, we have an Omar Google, we have an Omar Samsung, we have an Omar doctor, we have an Omar.
I know this is kind of a weird example, but we had GE Appliances volunteers come out, and they designed and built a BDA, which is a beaver dam analog. So these volunteers build basically the start of what's a beaver dam. Beavers are nature's best engineers. And then the beavers come in and they say, oh, this is a nice start to something. And they fill in with sticks and mud, and they're starting to create wetlands. It's interesting to think about that relationship, because it is kind of like AI complementing real world experience. And we've made it just humans going in, we've made it more efficient. We've told them where we need the wetlands, where we need, the habitat, and it's okay for humans to be a little involved. We actually are a part of the ecosystem. So I think that as long as we're informing AI to help us and where we need it, even for environmental water quality. I mean, I heard you talk about that.
With
it's
the
beautiful.
Chile, we're looking at water quality because the factories are really affecting the rivers. So they have monitors, and we're doing water quality analysis and prediction.
Humans are working with beavers for wetland wetland restoration. We had GE Appliances volunteers help with that. So, yeah.
Well, you guys will have to bring the fireside chat down to Bernheim.
Oh, God. You have too much walking for me. I'm honest. That's my impediment. Since my knee is not perfect anymore, I quit going. And I miss seeing these beautiful wooden structures.
Yeah.
Oh, the giants.
Yeah.
Those giants. We just, our latest art installation, the Tin Man, is ADA accessible. So we are thinking about how we make immersive experiences in nature accessible.
I'm not officially handicapped.
Yeah.
And I'm not practically perfect. So I'm a lost group of people, the in-betweens.
Right.
Now, my knee hurts, but I'm not handicapped and I'm not perfect. Nobody cares for me.
Oh. That's not true. I think you're pretty
I'm thinking in design. I'm thinking in design practices.
Yeah.
I was maybe start a non-profit to advocate for people like
the in-betweens.
I talked about that. Yeah. But anyway, we can talk forever. Please feel free to stay, chat. We have lots of food, drinks, snacks. coffee. We can even really have chai, by the way.
That's
We have
exciting.
spiced tea in the kitchen. We did not. We kind of got busy and didn't do the chai. Although I brought the spiced tea from India, so
Wow.
we have it and we can make a pot for people. Okay. So if you want to stay, please do.
Yeah.